what is that because they've been forced to? What does that signify? And in the larger context, I'd love to hear how you think of the importance of your work and what you're doing, or the value of. I think it has great importance and value, but I don't want to embarrass you. But how you think about the role it's playing as events evolve in Egypt. So today, when you couldn't go to Tahrir and show the cinema, for example, what's the role of, does this archive now become an active voice of protest? Or how do you see the role of what you're doing evolving in the context of the catastrophic political evolution at the moment in Egypt? Oh, I'm Cynthia Schneider. I teach culture and diplomacy at Georgetown and work with Brookings and work with a lot of projects involving artists from the Middle East.
Well, thank you very much. Nice to meet you. It's been very nice to also look at you. It's nice to come. Okay, question number one, my memory.
Well, how we find it.
So, how do you find my work? Well, everybody complains because I don't have a website. So of course, I'm at MIT, so I don't have a website. So, so there's, I have a gallery, and it's called Grimaldi Gavin. So if you Google Lara, Baladi, Grimaldi Gavin, you'll have a whole list of works that I've done. So that's one way in. And then I'm happy to send you some links also if you want afterwards. The second question, which is I think more important, is yes, the situation with Mousserine, for example. So no, it's not because they've been forced to shut down. Actually, I'm actually quite surprised that they haven't been under more pressure than they are. But it's more because of funding, and they do have a very kind of a strict policy about where to get funding from and how to move forward. So they've been very selective, but also the situation in Egypt has been very difficult for a lot of the NGOs and independent cultural spaces, activities, and so on, and many more, because of this law that came out in November, which sort of puts pressure on foreign funding. So on top of that, you have not just Mousserine, but you actually have, it's a real crisis. So you have an actual series of places that were extraordinarily meaningful and that have done a lot of work that now are forced to end their contribution. So Mousserine is not closing because of that, but the fact that they have to close the office, of course, raises the question of where do you protect the archive, where do you put a copy of the archive? And then again, this question of, do you send the archive to America? And so we start again with Nefertiti in, Nefertiti's bust in Germany in the museum, then it has, left the country and where it comes from, and again, the kind of loss of culture to the West. So then you have again all these questions that are being asked, and of course the question of freedom and space. And I think, I had a conversation with Khalid Abdallah, the founder of Mousserine, before I came back in January, and I told him about the project, and it was great because it's exactly what we're all doing, and somehow the wave on which the wave that we've been riding, all of us, some in spite of ourselves and some, in a determined kind of way, is still kind of holding us in the same spaces. So you see people, what people are doing today is archiving. So it's been an ongoing process, but the real focus today is on archiving and on creating that space. So what I'm really hoping to do, and I've networked already with the community of people who have archived, is to really think this idea of seriously studying where the archives could be saved, how, and then of course how these can be used to allow for this memory to not die, because otherwise it's as if we haven't done anything. So I'm not sure it answers your question. And what's